Hello viewers, and welcome to another one of my video blogs looking at F1 2011. Because today was the British Grand Prix, and a wonderful occasion it was as well for motorsport. I mean, you look at the crowds there, you look at the atmosphere there, there's not another Grand Prix like it in the world. In a way, I'd say the only one that was even similar is obviously the Italian Grand Prix, but also Germany. And it's funny how it's always the older circuits that would generate that kind of sort of fan feel to it. There is a feeling of old with Silverstone despite the new that's been built on it, and it was a great race again today. The weather and changeable conditions really making for some action. Great shame to see Jenson and McLaren there, because the wheel not being put on properly, and it was a shame for his race, but good for Alonso, of course. Quite entertainingly actually, Lewis coming together with the Ferrari there, and if you watch here you'll see actually on my Lewis Hamilton video I did yesterday, I actually hit a Ferrari at the same place on the same corner. So there we go, it had to happen, it's all my fault. But no, great race today. It was a shame McLaren couldn't finish a bit higher up. I think there's some drama with the whole Webber situation. Why are people unhappy about that? Well, on the one hand you'd say the team should finish, get to the end of the race, and ordinarily you'd say that would absolutely be the case. But it leaves a sour taste in the mouth. And it feels very much like when Rubens had to move over for Michael Schumacher. That kind of bad taste. Was it really necessary for that to happen? Today Webber was obviously a lot quicker than Vettel, and he knows it. He had Kurz and Vettel didn't. He could have taken him down the hangar straight and was told not to, despite sitting behind him. So what would have happened? Well, it would have been, I think a lot of people would have been satisfied if Webber had been allowed through and, you know, got second place. But it seems to me that Vettel's psychology is quite fragile, and I think a good example of that is if you look at Spa last year. You know, Vettel was behind, desperate to get past Jenson Button, and smashed into his side pod, and it just showed that when Vettel's not leading the race, he quickly struggles, and he can be pushed out under pressure, as we've seen in just the one race this year. He's had the fastest car, he's used it, he's most comfortable in the lead, man and machine. But he can be interfered with, and I felt that Red Bull were playing a case of backing their man today. They say that would have happened the other way around. I don't think anyone really believes that, and unfortunately I think it would have been shame for Mark and for Jenson as well. He reckons he could have been in the mix there, but I would say the biggest loser of the day is actually Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher had a fantastic race, and the incident with Kobayashi I felt was very unfair. A 10-second stop-go penalty. I just felt it was playing wrong, honestly. I mean, you see Eddie Jordan there ranting on about Michael Schumacher. He said it constantly since before Michael came back. He shouldn't come back, he's too slow, he shouldn't be in the sport, he's banging into people. Eddie doesn't want him back. I see Nigel Mansell was the steward today, or the racing driver with the stewards today, and it surprises me because when Nigel Mansell went into British Touring Car, he felt that the touring cars were against him in a way, that he wasn't being allowed to sort of settle into the sport. I kind of feel the same about Michael. I feel like the cards are kind of stacked against him. I mean, if we look at the incident, they say he was the car behind in an avoidable incident. Well, actually, he was braking for the corner, took avoiding action, and had an unavoidable accident. So it wasn't really a 10-second penalty. I just don't know how they come to that conclusion. If you'd hit him intentionally, or there was an option to avoid hitting him, fair enough. But he took avoiding action. Of course he didn't want to lose his front nose. He took avoiding action, he made a mistake, he took avoiding action. There we go. I think that they blow things out of all proportion. I do feel that on this occasion, I think Lewis and Michael both have been the wrong side of the stewards this year, and things could have been a little bit different. But anyway, that's the Grand Prix today. I'd like to hear your opinions and feedback on that as well. Just on the F1 event the other day, I hope you've been enjoying all those videos I've been putting up. A couple more to come. We've got another conversation took place was with the developers at the event, Paul Gill and Steve Hood. Unfortunately, the sound on this clip that you're seeing, the sound was no good. We couldn't hear them well enough. The mic unfortunately died. The camera ran out of power, which is an absolute pain, unfortunately. So there will be a transcript which I'll be putting up at some point of this interview, and hopefully I'll interview the guys again before the game comes out. So again, do get your questions to me. but not yet. I won't be probably playing F1 again for some time at the moment. And the next thing today is obviously we see a bit of David Croft very briefly having a go on F1. I watched that, Anthony Davidson standing behind him. His 3-lap time there of 9 minutes 23, certainly on the money. On the money. So David Croft putting in the lap times there. And next today you're going to see a bit of Belgium. So Spa. This was my first ever go at Spa. I only had 2 goes on it. We had very limited time. First run, you'll see I make a mistake about halfway round, and then the second run I'll be popping onto another video later today. But check this out first. Okay, so lap was going quite well. Great start. I saw somebody mention ridiculous when I showed that start in the video. Actually, that's pretty much identical to what Damon Hill did in '98. So check that out. You'll see at the time. I think he jumped from third to first on the first corner. That was following the big smash half an hour earlier. Handled well, played well. All the courses seem to have been slightly improved and remodelled. That curb caught me out, didn't it? The car bottomed out. I'll have to get used to that. I mean, sometimes you can run across that curb no problem, and I need to avoid it in future. Of course, it's a funny corner, isn't it? You kind of want to carry a lot of speed in there, but it's a marginal one. I'll need a few more laps to get used to it. By the way, it was playing well. Of course, then the AI got in my way, and there was just no way past. I mean, you can see them here just sort of battling with each other, and I had to come right at the power and just hope for the best so I could get past them. And then I thought, well, I'm not going to knock about here at the back, I might as well start again. So I started a new race after this as well. So that was a quick run on Spa. Next video to come. I hope you've enjoyed all this coverage, and as I say, any questions, always feel free to contact me, and I'll see more of you soon.